A seemingly minor network disadvantage has completely reshaped the competitive play of a popular video game. The game in question is Rocket League, and in 2022, a professional team from Saudi Arabia nearly claimed the game's highest honor, due in part to this unintended quirk. Rocket League is essentially car soccer. Unlike other soccer video games, where the ball sticks to the player's feet, sometimes called ball magnetism, in Rocket League, the movement of the ball is determined by the physics of the game. It doesn't stick to the player's car, the player instead must use their car to control the ball, resulting in something closer to the real sport, apart from the fact that you play as a car. And for years, Rocket League's competitive scene has been dominated by North American and European players. But recently, professional players from other parts of the globe, like South America and the MENA region, have been invited to enter the game's premier tournaments and have started to gain prominence. And part of the reason for this is their distinct play styles. You may have heard of young footballers in Europe, say, honing their close control and balance on concrete. Well, Rocket League has also evolved playstyle distinctions as a result of the similarly unintended but virtual conditions. And these differences are due to high ping, the delay between a player's actions and the game server's response. Ping measures how long it takes for data to travel between your computer and the game server. It's measured in milliseconds, and the higher your ping, the more latency or delay you experience in the game. Now, Rocket League has servers all around the world, meaning that casual players from any region can compete against other players from the same region, with both players experiencing relatively similar ping, meaning no one player has a meaningful advantage over the other. But the problem begins at the higher levels. You see, there are over 20 different ranks in online Rocket League. A player's rank denotes their skill level, and the online matchmaking system will usually match players up against opponents of roughly equal ability. But the highest rank, Supersonic Legend, is made up of only a few hundred players, less than 0.01% of the game's player base. Now, this might be okay if you're a European or North American player, where the game is most popular with a higher density of top players. But if you're a competitive level player based in Saudi Arabia, for example, there are precious few competitors of an equal skill level for you to face. One of the obvious solutions to this is to play on the more popular servers, but with a higher ping. And that is where the playstyles begin to diverge. Because Saudi players, to stick to our example, have had to develop a playstyle that minimizes the negative impact of higher ping. Due to impacted reaction times, they make more aggressive challenges when defending, which is preferable to the alternative of sitting back and reacting to attacks as they happen. When attacking, they play more aggressively than their North American counterparts, with high skill moves in the air, forcing defenders to predict and be proactive rather than to rely on their better ping. And similar to a South American and North African playstyle, there is a reduced hesitancy in their decision-making. Passing and team-based plays are also more likely to fall foul of latency issues, so these teams prioritize individual plays. Imagine 3 Lionel Messis constantly running at you with the ball, and you're somewhere close. Now, suffice to say, high ping is still a disadvantage for players from these regions. But conversely, the biggest competitive matches usually happen at LAN tournaments, which is to say, tournaments held in person. And at these events, there are no latency issues, meaning what started as a disadvantage could become an advantage. Now, there's no high ping holding them back, their aggressive playstyle feels even faster and is harder to contend with for opponents. A Saudi team, Team Falcons, placed second at the RLCS 21-22 Spring Major, and again in 2024 placed second at the RLCS London Major. Added to that, anecdotally, there is a general consensus that Saudi Arabia was home to some of the world's best Rocket League players in the years prior to their official entry into RLCS competitions. Had they been competing earlier, we may have seen more evidence of this success. So, there's hope yet for the disadvantaged in the competitive eSports scene, where a seemingly insignificant network drawback has spawned an entirely different way of playing the same video game.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to the best team of sports writers, reporters, and analysts in the world, offering exclusive stories and unrivaled insight. You can try The Athletic for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.